Hey, this is Bill. Welcome back to the channel. Right now, there are about 8 billion people living here on planet Earth. Now imagine every single one of them stood together in one giant group. And all together at the exact same second, they all jumped up. 8 billion people, leaving the ground at the very same instant. So what do you think would actually happen to the whole Earth? A lot of people imagine something absolutely catastrophic happening. Maybe the entire planet would violently shudder from the impact. Maybe it would trigger gigantic earthquakes all around the globe. Or maybe it could even knock the Earth right off of its orbit. It really feels like 8 billion people must have enormous power. But to understand the real truth, we first need to talk about size. And more importantly, we need to talk about mass, which means weight. Let's compare the total weight of all humans to the weight of the Earth. First, add up every single person on the entire planet together. That gives you roughly 500 billion kilograms of people. That sounds like an absolutely unimaginable number, doesn't it? But now let's look at the mass of the giant Earth itself. The Earth weighs about 6 trillion kilograms. That is a 6, followed by 24 whole zeros. It is a number so enormous that your brain cannot truly picture it. So how do humans really compare to that? Let's make it simple. Imagine the whole Earth was shrunk down to the size of a bus. On that scale, all of humanity together would be a single germ. One tiny, invisible little speck sitting on a giant vehicle. That is truly how small we all are next to our own planet. So now, let's actually make everyone jump together and see. When you jump, your legs push down hard against the ground. And by pushing down, you also push the Earth the opposite way. It's the same reason a small boat drifts back when you step off it. So when 8 billion people all push off at the very same moment, the Earth does technically get pushed a little the other way. But because the Earth is so unbelievably heavy, it barely budges. So how far would the Earth actually move? Let's find out. The Earth would shift by less than the width of a single atom. Not a hair, not a grain of sand, less than one tiny atom. That is a distance far too small to ever see or even feel. And believe it or not, it gets even less dramatic than that. Because a split second later, all 8 billion people land again. When they land, they push the Earth right back the other way. So the tiny push and the tiny pull completely cancel each other out. The Earth ends up in the exact same spot where it first started. It is as if the giant 8 billion person jump never even happened. No earthquakes, no cracks, no wobble, absolutely nothing at all. Our whole planet does not even notice that we jumped one bit. To the mighty Earth, 8 billion of us are basically invisible. So the jump itself is a complete and total letdown. But hold on, because the story does not actually end there. Remember, we said everyone had to gather in one single place. And that one small detail changes absolutely everything. Let's say everyone crowded together into one small country. To even fit 8 billion people, they'd be packed shoulder to shoulder. Now the jump happens, does nothing, and everyone cheers anyway. But then a genuinely terrifying new problem suddenly appears. Every single person now has to somehow get all the way back home. And they are all standing crammed into the exact same tiny spot. There is no food anywhere nearby for 8 billion hungry mouths. There is no clean water for anywhere near that many people either. The roads instantly become the worst traffic jam in all of history. Every airport is mobbed by billions of people at the very same time. Phone networks and the internet completely overload and crash. No one can even call for help, because everyone is calling at once. People are stranded, hungry, and thousands of miles away from home. The simple act of gathering was the real disaster all along. Not the jump itself, but trying to get everyone back afterward. Within just days, that crowded area would fall into total chaos, and it could take months or even longer for the world to recover. So the scary part was never actually the jumping at all. It was 8 billion people all trying to be in one single place. Funny how the boring answer quietly hides the real catastrophe. The Earth was completely fine. It was us who were in real trouble. So what does this strange thought experiment actually teach us? First, it shows just how truly tiny we are next to our planet. The Earth is almost unimaginably massive and incredibly powerful. And a single human is lighter than a whisper pushing against it. All of us together still can't nudge it more than a single atom. But here's the surprising and genuinely hopeful flip side. We may be tiny, but we are absolutely not powerless at all. Because our real power was never in our muscles in the first place. 8 billion people jumping does absolutely nothing to the Earth. But 8 billion people working together can change the entire world. Together we build great cities, cure diseases, and fly to the moon. We can protect forests, clean up oceans, and help one another. Our real strength was never about how hard we can possibly jump. It's about what we choose to do when we all work as one team. A single ant can barely lift a tiny crumb on its own, but a whole colony of ants can move a mountain of food together. Humans are exactly the same, only we are far more powerful. So the Earth does not fear all of us jumping at once. But the things we build together can truly reshape the whole world. And that is a far, far bigger power than any single jump. So the next time someone asks about everyone jumping at once, you will know the boring and surprisingly deep real truth. The planet would simply shrug it off without a second thought. We would move it less than the width of one single tiny atom, and it would spring right back as if nothing had ever occurred. The real danger was always us, crowded into one single place. But our real strength was always us, choosing to work together. We are small, yes, but together we are truly mighty in numbers. Not because we can jump, but because we can cooperate and care. And honestly, that is a much more amazing superpower than any jump. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a new one. This has been Bill. See you in the next video.